Hello, my name is Ariel Daniel with the Lowell Observatory, and here's what's in the sky this November. Venus is currently on the morning side of the sky, and it will rise just before dawn. Jupiter and Saturn set this month near each other in the early evening. They will be appearing gradually closer to each other in the sky until we see a rare conjunction between the two on December 21st. This will be a particularly close conjunction, the closest Jupiter and Saturn have appeared in the sky in the last 400 years. The northern Taurids meteor shower will peak the evening of November 11th and the morning of the 12th. Although the shower usually sees fewer meteors than others, it may have a higher than usual percentage of particularly bright meteors. Look in the direction of the constellation Taurus for these meteors. The evening of the 16th and the morning of the 17th, there will be a peak in the Leonids meteor shower. This shower may produce as many as 15 visible shooting stars an hour after its peak, although you'll need to stay up late and have dark skies to see quite that many. Look in the direction of the constellation Leo to see these meteors. The new moon this month will be on the 15th, and the full moon will be on the morning of the 30th. On the 25th, there will be a conjunction between the moon and the planet Mars, and on the 30th, there will be a penumbral lunar eclipse. These happen when the Earth blocks some, but not all, of the sun's light directly reaching the moon. Observers on the moon would see a partial solar eclipse. Unlike the dark red color the moon takes when it enters the Earth's full shadow, or umbra, during this penumbral eclipse we'll see a slight, barely noticeable darkening of the moon. From Arizona, this eclipse will begin early in the morning at 12:32 a.m., or just past midnight on November 30th, and reach its maximum at 2:42 a.m. So you'll need to stay up late the evening of the 29th or get up pretty early the morning of the 30th to see it. In Universal Coordinated Time, the eclipse will begin at 7:32 and reach its maximum at 9:43. This eclipse will be visible throughout the Western Hemisphere, and much of it will also be visible from Eastern Asia, Australia, and the Pacific Ocean. November is a time of transition from the autumn sky to the winter sky. The constellation Cassiopeia will be up until nearly sunrise. Cassiopeia looks like the letter M or W and can be used to find many other constellations. The shape of Cassiopeia opens up towards Polaris, the North Star. Later in the evening, the winter hexagon will rise, a huge group of bright stars very prominent in the winter. It contains many constellations, including Taurus and Orion. Right now is a wonderful time for stargazing with binoculars, with many objects up that are both relatively easy to find and are beautiful through binoculars. Visible to the naked eye and wonderful through binoculars are two of the closest star clusters, the Hyades, which form the head of Taurus, and the famous Pleiades. Orion's belt points straight to both of these. Underneath Orion's belt is Orion's sword, in the middle of which is the Orion Nebula, which is the sky's brightest star-forming region and another spectacular target for binoculars. Further west, towards Cassiopeia, are two objects that are somewhat fainter but still beautiful for binoculars. The Perseus double star cluster is almost exactly halfway between the constellations Cassiopeia and Perseus. The Andromeda Galaxy can be found either by bisecting the angle of Andromeda's bright stars and going a few thumb widths up, or by following the line formed by two of the stars in Cassiopeia. If you're up for more of a challenge, both of the planets Uranus and Neptune are up this month. Neptune is in the constellation Aquarius, and it will probably require a telescope to see. It's in a faint part of the sky, with few bright stars to use as landmarks. If you imagine a right triangle with the stars Fomalhaut and Diffha as corners, Neptune will be near the third corner. Uranus is in the constellation Aries, the Ram. It may be visible with binoculars, but you will need a telescope to see that it's a planet. Uranus can be found a little above halfway between the stars Menkaure in Cetus and Sheraton in Aries. This week's Deep Sky Challenge is the Triangulum Galaxy, or M33. This galaxy can be found right on the line between the stars Hamal in Aries and Meroc in Andromeda, about 2/3 of the way towards Meroc. The Triangulum Galaxy is the third largest galaxy of our local group, much smaller than our Milky Way and slightly larger than the Large Magellanic Cloud. It is about 60,000 light-years across and about 2.7 million light-years away, and has about the 10th of the stars of the Milky Way. It takes up nearly as much sky as the full moon, but it appears much fainter than the Andromeda Galaxy, so its appearance through a telescope will be much more subtle. Good hunting! That's all for this month's Mars Hill Almanac. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.